Holy guacamole, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're playing as a Socialist Republic of Italy. We're trying to get enough guys for us to do a risorgimento. And, like, you know, attack the Italian state. And then eventually attack the Papal state. I'm sorry, the two Sicilies and the Papal state. We want to do this sooner rather than later. But we do not have the manpower to do it at all. We're missing equipment production. We don't have any TAC bombers, apparently. Or naval bombers. Naval bomber. Boom. TAC bomber. TAC bomber. This thing? Is TAC bomber? Is it? Yeah. You know. We'll get around to making these. And then I guess we need carrier fighters and carrier naval bombers. Carrier fighter? Carrier fighter? Carrier fighter. Okay. Basically, I'm just doing this to stop people from bugging me. I think we need more support equipment. And that probably is fine. Did we make a new boat? We did. You can go join friends over here. And we can proceed. Oh my god. Strikes against Mussolini again. Can't we just simply ignore them? Thanks for the lost political power. I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm just going to keep getting that event over and okay. The final act of the 10th International Congress. With all important decisions made during the first week, the Congress has moved on to less pressing matters. After 10 days of negotiations, discussion, and politicking, the delegates came up with one final act, Declaration of Eternal Brotherhood, and readiness to face the imperialists wherever they're to be found. Proletari du tutti I passani univeti. I presume that's workers of the world unite? Or something in that vein. Who could say? How are the Americans doing? You should, do that. And then you... Do we want to attack? And then, of course, Indochina, where nothing ever happens. We'd love to see it. We'll attack here, I guess. Rise of the Russian state! In the wake of his sweeping reforms in Russia, President Boris Savinkov has taken perhaps the perhaps unsurprising step to cement his rule permanently. The newly proclaimed Vozd, or leader, inaugurated this new stage in Russia's transformation amid cheering throngs on Red Square. The celebration has been decidedly more muted across the rest of Europe, however, with opinions in Germany ranging especially tepid given Savinkov's ceaseless barrage of anti-German rhetoric. True to form, the Vozd again decried German domination of Eastern Europe, reiterating his commitment to freeing Russia's former territories once Russia has thrown off the shackles of its Teutonic imprisonment. This might prove to be a problem in time. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Surely everything will work out. Futuristic architecture. This is the greatest absurdity of modern architecture. It's perpetuated by the greedy complicity of academies, internment camps for the intelligentsia, where the young are forced to recopy classical models. Is it It's onanistically. Okay. Recopy classical models onanistically, instead of straining their imaginations to search for solutions to new and urgent problems. The futurist house and city. A house and city spiritually, materially our own, in which riotous activity can rage without seeming a grotesque anachronism. So reads the Futurist Manifesto of Architecture. Futurism, as an architectural movement, has recently been highly popular amongst the FAR, Mussolini in particular, is a noted patron of architects building in that style. The future is now. Are we futurist? Or merely future-ish? Wow. The more you think about it, the more it makes sense. Anyways. Logistics company. That seems useful. More reliability. Probably good. We'll take it. Huh. We could get better trains right now. Honestly, seems like a pretty good idea. The 1937 Dutch election. The Netherlands has traditionally been one of the most politically stable nations in Europe. The Dutch people have been, for years, entrenched with their own institutional pillars, which have tended to undermine radical tendencies. Due to the economic chaos caused by the Netherlands' close ties to Germany and Middle Europa, and the rise of the far-left Red Front and nationalist VNH, the country's political situation is more tense than it has been in many years. The creation of the formidable Left Link's electoral pact meant the death knell of the conservative government. However, it quickly collapsed, leading to minority rule. The Social Democratic SDAP has joined a coalition with the moderate VDB, promising a progressive administration that aims to solve the nation's many crises. The Dutch do love their elections. Bam. The Savoyard crisis resolved. Yeah, I think this is Upper Savoy. A few days ago, a demand from the Commune of France was telegraphed to the Swiss government: see the protection of Haute-Savoy under threat of armed coercion. The French characterized their demand as a need to end the persecution of the French population within the province. The Swiss government decided to avoid war and agreed, saying that a peaceful transfer of ownership was preferable to bloodshed. This is a victory for the French government, which has already declared the reclamation of Haute-Savoy as a victory for the world's working class. Syndicalism spreads. I would love more infantry equipment, so I can officially support the Workers' Congress of America. That would be nice, but it seems unlikely. The New York pocket is continuing to be a pocket. I don't think it's going to end well for them. We got range improvements. Let's make sure. Yeah, we don't have much cannons, have machine guns. Yeah, it's all time locked. So let's get improved machine tools. That seems good. This seems wise. We're mobilizing more guys. Alright, we are still gaining loads more recruitable manpower on a weekly basis, which is really nice, given how much I need to schlorp up. We got bikey boys. Alright. You guys move at a speed. I mean, like, that's just like a good divisional template, honestly. I probably want to go. I probably want to start bike maxing ASAP. Okay. Bonuses for infantry weapons might be nice. Modern production lines might be nice. Finishing electrical conversion. More political power gain is probably good too. Let's reform the ICAP. Spell ICAP. From 1903, the Autonomous Public Housing Institute deals with the building and administration of social housing for the less affluent of our society. Over the decades, this has grown bloated and corrupted. In the name of a proletariat of this republic, we shall renovate it at once. Bonuses to construction. Yay. How close are we to the amount that we need? We have the amount that we need. Do we have the amount that we need in the field? Not quite yet. In training. Yeah, that should be enough. We might want to prioritize these divisiones. Are we going? Yeah, we should probably get infantry specialist. Yeah. It's not that expensive. Alright, how are things going out here? They're fine. How are things going over here? It's fine. Honestly, it could be better, but, like, could be worse, you know? We got Reki is ready. What are we going? Probably want dispersed industry? Yeah, let's do it. Let's disperse our industry. Okay, interesting. The Italian state declared war on the Serene Republic of Venice. That's interesting. Probably want to... I think leaving things be is probably fine there. The Veni should revolt. With the recent electoral victory of the right-wing and vehemently anti-Austrian ANI party in the Italian Republic, there's been open sedition in the Veneto region by moderates opposed to the new government. Many regional rebels are openly calling for the restoration of the Serene Republic of Venice, the famous state that had been conquered in the Revolutionary Wars, and ruled alternatively by France, Austria, and Italy ever since. Though it is yet unclear whether this is part of an Austrian scheme to further their influence on the peninsula, or represents legitimate efforts by rebels breaking themselves from ANI rule. Already fighting is breaking out across northern Italy, posing a substantial risk to the Milan government, surrounded as it is by enemies on all sides. Can the Queen of the Adriatic survive? I hope it can't. Alright. Associazione Ricreativa e Culturale Italiana. The ARCI, or the Italian Recreational and Cultural Association, is the largest recreational society within the Republic. Founded in Florence in the 1920s, the organization is purely secular. Its goal is to help support recreational activities for the people, as well as to support solidarity among the citizens of the Republic. Culture that was once only the purview of the elites, such as operas, plays, and classical music, are now available for the people to enjoy. Furthermore, the Associazione supports book clubs, countryside vacations, and more thorough arrangements with local, provincial juntas and unions. Culture belongs to the masses. One would hope that it does. Party time! The Indian Civil War resumes. The Indian Civil War, which erupted in 1925 as the British Empire unraveled, culminated in a ceasefire in 1927 that left the subcontinent in deadlock. Now it seems the ceasefire is finally broken, with hostilities resuming with the Socialist, Bharatiya People's Republic, and the anti-socialist signatories of the Bombay Pact, the Dominion of India, and Princely Federation. The conflict encompasses India's hundreds of millions of people, with each combatant having foreign backers. Regardless of its outcome, it's certain the reignited conflict will be one of the 20th century's deadliest. This shall be a death blow to colonialism. One would hope.
Pronto, signore.
Okay.
Ordini? Pronto.
How are we on manpower in the field? And in training. Really, getting more bikes is what we want, but we just need to have enough guys. I would bet that these guys don't have any of the support divisions that they really need. Do we have, how are we on light flame tanks? We don't have enough. How are we on armored recon? That would reduce our speed. Engineering. And support artillery. Seems like that might be smart. Yeah. Probably should just get, at the very least, I should get support artillery. Because I have a bunch of guns. Just get support artillery for everyone. Alpine divisions have it. Infantry has it.
Attento.
How many? Divisione Fanteria should be infantry. Yeah, that's fine.
Si, signore.
Yeah, that's fine. How many more? Oh, we're so close. We are so close to getting to where we need.
Avanzate.
Alright, this situation is like a bad. The supply situation here sucks. Alright, forces have been forced back into New York City. This is no longer a safe place for me to be.
Vi respingiamo, signore!
Okay.
Avanzate!
And we'll just chill. Make sure to cover the retreat. The Peru-Bolivian Confederation declared war on Ecuador. Okay. Seems bad, but whatever. Alright, how are we on troops in the field? Do we have enough yet? Yes. We can actually cancel that. And, do that.
Pronto all'azione!
You guys should go here. Alright. And then you should be infantry. Anyways. We're still a little while out because we still need to reform the ICUP and then actually complete the focus that lets us fight people.
Comandi!
Right, Nepal. They have they now have a a focus tree. Is it a particularly good focus tree? No, but like focus trees,
Pronto!
I would rather there be a mediocre focus tree than no focus tree. Alright, let's go attack Kathmandu. I'm reading this. A veritable shogunate in the Himalayas. Wow. There you go. Alright. Do we want to attack here? Not sure I see the value in that. You know, why not? No, that would be why not.
Sì, signore!
Anything going on here? Nope.
Sì, signore!
Anything going on here? We just went here. Anything going on here? We're defending. I think we're gradually seem to be winning, but, you know.
Pronto!
What if I did that? Boom. The Mozambique Bush War. Though there are some believe that old-fashioned colonial wars are a relic of the pre-Welt Krieg era, recent events in Africa have shown that man's thirst for battle in the Dark Continent are not in any danger of abating. Growing tensions between German Middle Africa and the Portuguese colonies have degraded in the recent months into somewhat farcical disputes involving little more than cattle raiding into open conflict in Mozambique and Angola, with colonial troops and their white officers on both sides waging a fruitless guerrilla war that's sure to cost many lives. If they think it's worth it.
Pronto! Forza, muovetevi!
That seems foolish of me. Okay. Pause.
Forza, muovetevi!
And I'm gonna have to do this. That was very, very stupid. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Sovereignists dominate Middle Africa. The press pack in Berlin has been abuzz with reports of sweeping political changes taking place within the traditionally secretive Middle African colonial administration. Despite the colony's governor, Karl Ritter, having undergone on a bruising legal battle in the German courts, it appears that his political survival has greatly emboldened the so-called Selsbewalter faction in Dar es Salaam, using the legal principle established in the case of Kenyatta v. Solf, that within Middle Africa the governor's sovereignty cannot be infringed. Karl Ritter's more hardline factions become ascendant domestically. The Dark Continent is sure to get darker under the influence of these figures, many of whom have long treated Middle Africa as little more than a personal fiefdom, a strange state of affairs. Unione Donne Italiane Congress. We don't see why the revolution is in the hands of only half the population. We are anarchists, but we're also women, and we want to make our revolution, not as men make it for us. We don't want a struggle designed to fit the male, because we'll be screwed, as always. We want to fight, so that we can claim our part in the share-out. We want to make it clear that just now we're beside ourselves with joy. It would be a mistake to keep us at home knitting. We want to die, but want to die like men, not live like servants. So said Ada Prospero at the annual Congress of the Unione Donne Italiane, the largest women's organization in the Republic. The union's goal is dedicated to women's emancipation and liberation. Ada Prospero, in particular, supports the creation of female combat units to fight in the unification of Italy. We shall see.
Mantenete le distanze.
Uh-oh. Here's the problem with recall, is it only works when we're not being attacked. I should press a button. Like, say, begin Risorgimento. Risorgimento was the process by which Italy was originally united. However, within the Italian Civil War of 1919, Italy was shattered into pieces. A new Risorgimento is needed now, one that will not just unite Italy, but spread the revolution to all parts of the country. Oh, nice, that would let us attack the Serene Republic of Venice for as long as it continues to exist, which is not very long. This is not a disaster, but it is annoying to, like, potentially lose this division. Yeah, that's it for Venice. A very nice end. Yeah, as soon as this, if this attack ever abates, as soon as it does, I will withdraw my forces. Radio propaganda would give us more war support. That might be a good idea. But it probably would be better to get... I actually probably want to get entrenchment expert. Alright, here's my plan.
Pronto all'azione.
You should be, like, green.
Pronto all'azione.
You should be, like, yellow.
Preparatevi. Sì, signore.
And
Sì, signore. Pronto, signore.
you guys should be split off.
Comandi.
We need a little bit more juice.
Formazione.
We need a little bit more than that.
Pronto, signore.
Nope. Like that.
Pronto.
And then you can do that.
Pronto
And
all'azione.
then you can, There are not really any good spots to cross here. I think we'll try to cross over here.
Preparatevi.
Yeah, we'll try to hold on as long as we can, but I think we kind of screwed up pretty fatally. Oh well. It happens. That was, annoyingly, like a pretty self-inflicted wound. Yeah, it'll be a while before the fighting actually starts. Yeah, we are literally getting annihilated down to the man. Yeah. That was dumb. It was a dumb decision on my part. Oh well. I guess I'll have to train more Alpine forces. Oh well. I ain't sending in any more guys. In fact, I should probably start withdrawing volunteers. In preparation for
Attento.
the conflict. I can leave the guys in Indochina. They're not doing anything.
Preparatevi.
Nicaragua declares war on Honduras. Okay, doke. More production efficiency. I like the sound of that.
Ordini. Formazione.
know. There's no obvious weak points.
Formazione.
This might be the best we can do.
Attento.
The fall of Delhi. One of the oldest cities in the world. The ancient city of Delhi has been conquered, ransacked, and rebuilt many times. The earliest architectural relics date back to 300 BCE, a testament to Delhi's ancient history and resilience. However, the city has fallen to enemy forces. The ancient city's buildings are once again at risk of being destroyed. Once again, since the bloody siege of 1857, Delhi was placed under attack by the Bharatiya defenders, breaking under an impressive offensive made by British Indian forces. Reports from the city indicated the British Indian Army has been herding Bharatiya prisoners and survivors into the Purana Kila, an ancient fortress now serving as an internment camp. Once again, Delhi has a new master.
Ci respingiamo, signore.
Conflict between president and government. The differing policies of President Mussolini and the government seem to have reached the breaking point, with Mussolini sponsoring the Black Shirts and several other anti-democratic movements, while discreetly undermining the stability of the executive. Parliament has threatened to pass a motion of no confidence in him, which would end his rule and doom the presidential project. Such a motion passing is far-fetched, but to show the presidency cannot expect to do as it pleases, ignore the will of the other branches of the government. While tensions won't truly be solved until the government or Mussolini are forced out, the crisis may at least be relieved by temporary truce between the FAR and the rest of the country. Of course, Mussolini seems intent on doubling down instead, and there are rumors of a president's government ready to be appointed. That would be insane. Oh boy. So, trade unions are about to be ascendant. Good luck, Tosca. And we probably want to do. We could then weekly balance of power days for 180 days. How much would that move the balance of power? If it's once per week? Weekly stability. Oh, boy. Let's unleash the black shirts. Because there are 52 weeks. And 180 days, half of that. So it increases it by 25. Which is fine. Anyways, that would give us more weekly manpower, which manpower is good. I like having it. Uh-oh, we don't have enough trains. Uh-oh, we don't have enough trucks. Alright, that solves our truck problem. Our train problem is a bit more of an issue. Oh boy. That'll have to do. Alright, my boys are back.
Pronto, signore.
Yeah, I don't really know if there's much value in what I'm doing here. I'm gonna recall volunteers.
Formazione.
I'm gonna also recall from Indochina. And then we go to early mobilization. I'm also going to declare an end to building more civilian factories, and then go right to building military factories. We can begin Risorgimento! And we can grab an entrenchment guy. Love to see it. We should attack the Italian state. Let's do that.
Pronto.
Let's see. Who shall be in charge? Duca can be over here.
Sì, signore.
Okay. We should attract socialist intellectuals. Across the peninsula, many socialist intellectuals still work for other governments or await their liberation. No more, let us call upon these brave sons of Italy to come here, of course with the promise of rightful compensation, and help bring the revolution to our nation. And with that, I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.